thanks for tuning in. Today I'm working on a serving board. If you guys watch my Facebook channel, I do Facebook Lives. I had actually tried this on a live maybe about 2 months ago and it didn't turn out because I don't think that I prepped the board quite right. So I did some, I'm doing it differently this time, so I'm going to try it again. This is the back of the board. I've got the latex on here, so I just painted this with a liquid latex. This is the kind that I use. And that will catch the drips. So then all I have to do is peel it off. So that's the back. Then on the front, and this is where I think I went wrong. So I have sanded the part of the board that I want to put the resin on. And the last time I did this, I did not sand it. I also used resin that was too transparent and you could see all the grains and everything. And then I didn't put anything on the board at all. So I just went with, you know, the finished wood. So I've sanded the wood. Move my little cups over here. Let me make sure this is all in frame. Okay, cool. All right, so it's sanded just on this part. And what I'm gonna do is put this acrylic gesso as kind of like my prep before I resin. So that's the step I'm gonna do right now. So my plan is to do kind of like a sunset. So it's gonna be yellow, orange, red, purple, blue. So it's gonna be kind of like a sunset. And I have this little decal that I cut out on my Cricut that's gonna go here. So they're gonna look like they're silhouetted behind this or in front of this sunset. So the very bottom of this is gonna be black because I want this decal to kind of blend in. So it's gonna be a black area and then the sunset colors. So that's what I'm planning on. So what I wanna do with the gesso is, knowing that the colors, they're gonna be really bright kind of in this area, I'm gonna use the white. And then up here, where I'm gonna have like the darker purple and the navy blue, I'm gonna use the black. And then a stripe right here in the black. So that's what I am going to do. And I've never used the gesso before. I saw somebody on one of the Facebook groups I'm in recommended this as the best way to prep a board. And this helps to prevent the air bubbles that like to come through wood. So we'll see. I've done some wood projects where I haven't had any issues at all with air bubbles coming through the wood. And then I've done some where it's just like nonstop. So I cannot find my scissors. Here it is. So we'll see. But on this kind of wood where there's seams, so this wood is like butted together and joined somehow, I think there would definitely be air that would come through these seams. I think on single piece, like I said, I've done some where I've had problems and I've done some others where I have not. So rather than take the chance, I'm just gonna prep with this gesso. So I don't know if there are other things to prep with or better things, but I'm gonna give this a try. We'll see how it works. Guess I should have opened these before I started the camera, right? I didn't realize they were sealed and I don't have my gloves on. Okay, that one comes off. Okay. All right. And I'm just working on wax paper. So it's easy to get anything off of if I get, if I spill resin on it. Paint, it's nice to use as like a, what is that called? A painter's tray. All right, so my decal real quick. So the white about down to there. Okay guys, I'm back. The gesso is dried. I actually went and put a second coat on just to make sure I got it covered. But that's all dried, and I've got my resin mixed up and I'm ready to go. So I have 6 ounces of resin. I'm using the Naked Fusion. And then for my colors, so I've got 4 of these are Color Obsession. So for the yellow, I'm using Lemon Drop. The orange is Goldfish Orange. Red is Raspberry Crush. And this is kind of a pinky red. It's not like a bright red. Then the purple is Purple Passion. And then I have 2 just resin colors here. So this is the navy blue. And I'm gonna do a little bit of this, it's called light violet. It's a shimmery violet. I thought maybe for a few streaks of maybe clouds in the sky, if I can maybe get some, you know how sometimes you'll see like those grayish purple clouds in a sunset. So, and then a touch of white. This is, it's a Russian brand. I don't know how to pronounce that. But I really like this white. It's very, very opaque. And I'm just gonna use just a touch of that, like where the sun is gonna be setting. And then I've also got the Russian black. This is also extremely opaque. And then I'm gonna add just a touch of this black glitter. Sulin Extra Fine Glitter in Onyx. I'm gonna add just a touch of that to the navy blue. That'll be way up here at the top of the sky. So that's what I've got here. So I'm going to, I have 6 ounces, so I'm gonna try and divide that up. I do not need much at all of this shimmery violet or the white. I just need a tiny drizzle. So I'm gonna put most of it into these cups, and I don't think I'm gonna need as much of the purple and the blue. So I'll do more in the black, yellow, and orange, and less in the purple, blue, and then the pink I'll do kind of in between. That's my plan. We'll see if I can actually pour it that way. Alrighty, here we go. So I'm hoping that this time around it works better. Like I said earlier, when I did this on my live, the colors were too transparent. You know what, I'm gonna actually do the white. I'm gonna put just a touch of the white where I want kind of like that sunburst. So I'm thinking that's gonna be like right here. Just spreading it down to the black. All right, now we'll do the yellow. So I'm just trying to make sure that black is covered. All right, I'm gonna go up a little higher with it actually. So I think I said I was gonna go up to about here with the yellow and there with the orange, so. I think I'll maybe do it like that so that I can blend some of the orange in with it. Let's see if that works. I don't know, I'm kind of making this up as I go, guys, so. Just trying to make sure I get some good coverage over the edges here too. Oh, so far I'm liking it. My resin's getting thick, which actually is good, because that means it's not going to just run off and maybe won't be quite as transparent. So when resin gets thin, even if you have a ton of color in it, that's when it tends to get a little more transparent. Don't those colors look pretty together? All right, I'm just gonna hit the blowtorch real quick. All right, so I am happy to say I don't see any air bubbles coming up through the wood yet. That was a big problem when I did this the last time. So that is great. Just making sure I got this over the edges really good. You can always just dab it on the sides too. Excuse my head. Sorry if I'm in the camera. Just trying to see the other side here. All right, the purple. And the blue. So this does have a little hole for a string. I'm hoping the resin doesn't like completely close it up. I can see just a touch of sparkle in this blue. It's so pretty. Oh, you guys, this is looking fabulous. Oh, much better than my first attempt. I think I even deleted the video off of my Facebook page because I was just so disgusted with the whole thing. Did not turn out at all. But that's kind of how it goes with resin. You never ever know what's gonna happen. I'm definitely not getting any colors blending though. Maybe a little down here with the orange and the yellow, but I think they're spreading more side to side versus up and down. I'm just actually gonna see if I can't get some movement going on here. A little bit of blending. Somehow I got way too much orange down there. Well, oh, I got overflowing yellow. Let's see if I can't move some of this. Gotta love baby wipes. That whole area is supposed to be black, and there's no way I can get black in there with all that yellow. I want to make sure it's off the wood too. Okay, I'm gonna heat gun this quick.
Getting a couple little, I'm gonna call it lacing, but like little spots are popping through. Looks like there was like an air bubble that popped and it's left kind of a cool dot of color. I'll bring you down for a close-up at the end, of course. All right, let me put some of this purple. All right, I'm gonna put the black on now. Just kick a little more of this yellow away. It does tilt downwards right through here because I carved that out. So I think that's why the yellow keeps running down there. I'm hoping once I get the black in there that it hits this little dam that I created on the side, or this edge. Oh man. Color on my gloves, which I got on the side of the board here. All right, and black. So this is pretty warm and pretty thick, so that's good. Again, hoping to prevent any flow going too far down. So I'm just gonna stop there. I didn't put it all the way down to the edge here, but I think it might move. So I wanna kind of just leave it and see if it moves before I add any more. I'm getting a little bit of lacing over here where the pink and the orange met. This shoulder, it's getting thin on the sides where it poured over. You can actually see the white gesso that I put on first. Just want to make sure that's all covered up. Okay, all right, I think I got it to a good spot. I'll bring you down for a close-up. I make sure my gloves are clean before I grab my phone. of that really cool lacing and effects that are going on. You can see that little bit of glitter there. All right, so I'm gonna come back a few times and torch this, and then I will be back tomorrow to put the decal and the top coat on. So I'll see you then. Okay, I'm back. It's been about 18 hours, I would guess, and it's nice and cured. It turned out so cool. The detail, there's so much lacing and just some amazing detail in here. The closer I get to it, the more I love it. So super happy with the pour. I am a little disappointed that the black spread like this. I do like this little shadow effect where the black kind of went under the yellow. I think that looks super cool, but my decal is straight. So I'm a little concerned that where the black is going to be behind the decal, you're not really going to see the decal. So, you know, the legs of the horses are going to get cut off, the grass. So I'm going to put the decal on, and then I pulled out this metallic pen. This is just kind of a gold color. And I thought I'd put the decal on and then see what it looks like. And I might go around some of the parts of the decal that are on the black with the gold, just to make them stand out a little bit. My thought is, you know, when you take a picture of a silhouette and there's a bright light behind it, sometimes there's that little halo effect. So I don't know if I can recreate that with a gold marker, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like once I put the decal on. So one thing I found, this is a Cricut decal. One thing I have found, when you've got a lot of solid space like this, or a big decal with just, you know, solid areas, if there is the slightest little bit of dust on here, it's gonna cause a bubble on your decal. Just like when you put a screen protector on your phone, you wanna make sure every single speck of dust is off of here. So I like to use a cloth to clean it. Let me grab it. Of course, I don't have it handy here. But I use these glasses cleaning cloths. They're made for cleaning eyewear, and they pick up dust really well. They don't get staticky. Paper towel, I think just it leaves residue behind. And sometimes I might even spritz it with a little bit of Windex or even some water, some alcohol if everything is cured all the way. But I like to just give it a nice polish with one of these cloths. Just make sure there's no dust. And then I'll even go over it now with a little piece of tape. I've got my painter's tape. And I like to use painter's tape. I used to use packing tape, but a lot of times it'll leave a little residue behind. So I just use this painter's tape. It peels off totally clean. There's no adhesive that's left behind on the resin. So just getting all the dust up. All right, I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. So let me peel this decal. I always try to leave a little spot where I can peel it. It's not quite stuck to the transfer tape. So I'm gonna try and get it as high as I can because I want the grass to be visible.
And I like to start on either on one side or lay the center down and then smooth left and right. But don't put both sides down and then try to smooth towards the middle, or you end up with a bubble in the center. Okay, the moment of truth. Oh, this is hard to do with gloves on. Just want to smooth out any little air bubbles that might be left in there. That's a couple. So yeah, you can see there were still, despite my best efforts, there's still a couple little pieces of dust that got stuck under there. All right, so hold that up here. So what you see is what you're gonna get after you put the clear resin on top. So this is gonna look exactly the same. You're gonna get that same kind of, it's not as reflective as the black, and it's gonna look the same even underneath clear resin. So it does stand out on its own from most angles. Obviously like this, you know, it's harder to see the detail, but I still think it's pretty good. I mean, you can still see what the scene is. So I'll turn it this way since that's the way you guys are going to be watching. But I like that. I think that looks good. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to put any gold around it. And I'm just going to pour the clear. So I'm going to mix up the clear and I will be right back. All right, so I've got my resin mixed up. I've let it sit for a little bit because I want it to be just a little bit thicker than usual. Since there's a decal on here, I want it to, you know, be fully covered. So I mixed up 3 ounces. I had 6 ounces if you remember when I did the color, so just 3 for the clear. This probably is too much, but all right, so just gonna go ahead and pour that on. So you can see I've got a little overflow. I'm gonna try and wipe that up with a baby wipe here. I'm gonna raise this side up under these little cups down here. I'm just gonna set them on a paper towel just to tilt it up just a smidge to discourage it from running down that way. All right, that's looking pretty good. I think I'll probably have to babysit it a little bit just to make sure I don't get, you know, a flood of resin where I don't want it. But other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna just hang out here. I'll torch it a couple more times, keep wiping some of this away, and then I'll be back later to show you the finished piece. Okay guys, I'm back. Everything is cured. I did have to put one more layer of clear on because there were a few bubbles that kind of snuck through.
I know it's hard to see with this, the lights glaring, but it turned out absolutely amazing. The details are just stunning. Look at that lacing. One little bubble. But everywhere else, it's just smooth as glass. And there's so much really, really amazing detail in here. Try and tilt it a little so the light doesn't glare. But I'm just in love with it. Okay, so the last step is to get the drips off the back. So that's the back, and you can see the latex that I had put down here and then the drips. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those. I'm gonna show you how I do that. All right, so getting rid of these drips when you have the latex on is super, super easy. All you need is a little putty knife and your heat gun. So I have tried using tape, like painter's tape or masking tape, and that works really great if you don't have curved edges, because you want the tape to be like right on, you know, right along the edge of it. And when you have curves, it's very hard to tape off the curves. So I like to use the latex. I have tried Vaseline. It has not worked for me. If you've used it well and had success with it, comment and let me know like what the trick is, because I haven't been able to get that to work. So for me, latex is my go-to. So I'm just gonna get rid of these drips real quick. I'm just gonna use my heat gun, and I'm just gonna warm up about maybe 4 inches at a time. And then I use the putty knife. I put the angled side down and just scrape. Once you get under, it comes off real easily. Oh, I guess couldn't quite tell where the latex stopped. It looks like I took it all the way to that corner. Okay. I was wondering why it didn't want to come off. There we go. So it should just slide right off like that. Okay, then once I scrape everything, then I just peel off the latex. Just want to make sure there's nothing that's going to scratch the board. Let's get that out of the way. Then I just start down one end and just kind of roll the latex. And then sometimes you'll have little spots like this where it didn't scrape up, and you can just still just peel the latex. If you just work at it, it'll come up. Just want to be kind of be careful, because you don't want to delaminate your work and have it peel the part that you want to keep. So just be gentle and slow. You can use your heat gun again if you need to loosen it up a little bit more. Okay, now that those are all off, just gonna grab, this is just 180 grit sandpaper, and I'm just very lightly gonna go over these rough edges. And I always feel it with my fingers. Your fingers are gonna tell you the story of the roughness rather than your eyeballs. Your eyes will not reveal everything. And then I'm just going to spritz this with some rubbing alcohol just to get any little extra bits off that might have stuck. And clean it up all the way around. And there we go. All done. There we are. So what do you guys think? I'm in love with it. This was super fun. I'm definitely going to make some more. All right, we'll see you next time.